Yo, what's up guys? Professor here. Today we got another lesson. This is going to be about prepping your beats to go out for sale or to be posted online. Like the final stages. I would call this light in-house mastering, which is what I'm going to teach you guys today. And we're only going to use FL Studio plugins and free plugins, all right? Because let's learn how to achieve a desirable sound that sounds good across many devices. So when someone's looking to buy a sound, they hear it and they're far more likely to purchase yours because it sounds desirable at the right volume, etc., etc. Now we're going to take two approaches to this. I specifically had one question asked from Jimmy Lewis right here. Yo boss, can you please make a video on how to prepare the beats for a vocalist? Now, this is going to kind of go into mastering, and when I go into mixing a beat out for a vocalist, I'll use the same mindset as when I master, and then I'll have them send the vocals back to me and I'll make a new master. It just depends on what you are doing with your working steps. But let's focus right now on getting the best sounding beat that we can so that you can make more sales or more people will listen to your things, including if there is a vocalist on it already, all right? So, first thing you're going to need is a pair of headphones or a pair of nice speakers. For sake today, that way you guys don't have to hear double audio, I'll be using my headphones. I recommend the Sony Dynamic stereo headphones, MDR 7506s, professionals. These things are banging for the budget, all right? So I know we all don't have $200 to go drop on a pair of headphones, and I didn't, especially when I bought these. So I needed something that was great. I looked up online reviews, things that have nice flat response. So I don't have any bass boosted. I don't want bass boosted headphones because I need to be hearing what a regular flat line is going to be going across all speakers and stuff, all right? And there's going to be some tips and tricks I'm going to teach you too. But these are the Sony MDRs right here. Let me pull it over. Here we go. Sony MDR 7506 professional large diaphragm headphones. Had pretty great reviews, but I was looking on a lot of tech websites and producer websites. These things, you'll see them in interviews with other companies or other videos, people. I really like these. $79.99. I don't know if that's just because it's Prime or not, but like when I bought these, they were a little more expensive than that. And I've had these for a year and a half now, and they still sound great. They're nice, they're comfortable. They fold into a convenient shape when you're done with them, so you could put them in a box or a bag. I have a travel case for mine. If you have your own headphones, that's cool already, but I definitely recommend something you can hear sub bass with and frequencies all up and down. Anything from 10 hertz all the way to 20,000 hertz is very important because those are going to be frequencies you're going to be working with, all right? So once you have that, then you need something to keep the hair out of your ears, and a hat's great for that. So I'm going to wear a hat. You don't actually have to do that, but I'm going to do this. So now that I have my headphones ready, plugged in, let's see what happens next. Oh, I'll link these headphones, by the way, I'll put a link in the description to where you can pick these headphones up on Amazon, all right? So if you decide you want to get a pair of headphones, go check out that link. All right, so let's minimize this. Let's get this out of the way. So here I have a beat. When you're mastering or prepping a beat, usually you'll be working with a waveform rather than all your different patterns, right? But for now, let's just look at this, because sometimes your beat may be peaking too high, and that is not good. So let's listen to this. So it seems like I'm between the -3 decibel and -6 decibel mark, which is great for mastering or getting ready for final prep. If your things are too loud, and you're getting way too high, especially over that 0 mark, you need to pull back the levels on your track. I'm talking control, drag across your mixer, and pull these down. All right, and if you look, it pulls all these in ratio equally. Good. So that's really low now, and that's fine, but we're gonna pull mine back up to where it was. So yeah, I like that level right there. Next thing you're going to want to do is check what your frequency looks like. And FL Studios has that in here, your frequency response, but that's a little hard to see, right? So what I did, and what you guys should do anyways, just because it's free, is go download the plugin Span. I'll put the link to it in the description below. Span is great for monitoring what your waveform looks like and checking all the frequencies. So let's type in Span, give me that. Great. Now let's look at this. I'm able to see my volume levels, I can zoom in. I can also change the time that we're going in, maybe much slower mode, so I can see the general average waveform and what it looks like. See if my bass is too loud or I'm too harsh up here. All right. So now let's say you can do your mixing in-house still. You've done all your stuff and you've done all your adjustments on your mix tracks, on your patterns, and now it's just the baked song. I want you to render it probably as a 32 or a 24-bit wave, a high quality. That way we can take it into another session. So let's highlight the parts that we all want here. I have it all highlighted. Let's make sure we're not bumping too high on this thing. Good. It doesn't look like I'm going above 3. I really want you guys to make sure when you're exporting your beat at this step that you're not going above -3 decibels. So now I'll go to File. I'll export this as a WAV file. Yep. We'll save that, and we'll make sure song selection, leave remainder, wave. Like I said, 32 or 24 is fine. 16 is usually what you'll do, like if you're giving it to your distributing service and it's all done and they ask you for that. But if you're like putting things up for sale, like on Song Trader or Pond 5, which are the two I use a lot of, you'll probably want to do 24-bit. 24-bit, resampling all the way up, high quality for all plugins, disable maximum polyphony, insert Mac. Don't split mixer tracks because that's exporting stems. Unless you want to continue your mixing process, then you're more than welcome to split your mixer tracks. But I don't want to. I want to hop right into my mastering part now and prepping this for sale. So I'll start, and then we'll let this render. All right. Now let's open up a new session of FL Studios. If you're smart, which I didn't do, you'll put the BPM information at the end of your name. So I remember 132. That's just in case. I like to know the BPM information of the beat I'm sending. And the key, if you can, like A minor, C major, D major, whatever, put that in the file also, file's name. And now I'm going to drag, one second. First I'm gonna make this 132. Then I'm gonna drag my song into my studio. Alright? Boom. Now let's get back to work. Alright, here we go. So I have this beat here. It's looking good. It's not peaking, or it's not pushing past this top line here. At this point, when you hit that top and bottom, you're at 0 decibels. You don't want to go higher than that, because if you go higher than 0 decibels, you're going to hear clipping and distortion over other commercial monitors and frequency, or headphones, things like that. Now I'm looking at this. Cool. And, alright, cool, it ends. Great. First thing I'm going to want to actually do with this whole beat is highlight 1 bar behind the beginning and 1 bar after the end. Go to your mixer and right click the master fader, go to create automation clip. And before you do anything with this, I need you to right click the point here and click copy value. Now what we're going to do is we're going to automate a small fade in so there's no clicks when the track first comes in. I want to make sure it's nice and smooth. So we'll paste the default value here. And we don't need it to be like that. Let's have a fast intro. Well, since we start with the kick, we're going to just do this. Yeah. All right, good. Now, let's make sure we take care of anything out here. Paste and pull it down. Nice. All right. Cool. Now, don't touch that thing again. Just don't touch it. Make sure it's on. Shift-click this button and lock it. All right. Now, let's put span on our master. All right. So I got span right here. Now I can see what's going on with my beat. All right. Let me turn down the volume so you guys can hear me talk while we do stuff. Now, first thing I'm going to want to do is search through my beat for frequencies I don't like. You don't want to start turning things up in your song until you get rid of any bad, sour, harsh frequencies. So we'll pull up a parametric EQ2 and let's hunt for frequencies by maximizing this on the screen, and then pull up something like this and scroll back on your mouse wheel. If you don't have that, instead, go over here and you'll see that this band responds to this lever. So go down here and make sure you have a narrow, pull this bandwidth down to make it a narrow point. This is how we're going to look for harsh frequencies, all right? So I'm just going to play, and I'm going to go. Alright, so there wasn't really a lot of frequencies I wanted to cut much because I probably did a lot of balancing before I sent this beat over. But if you have a bad mix, you might notice something that's really harsh. Usually you'll want to use narrow bands to take down things like that. Because now that we've removed harsh frequencies, we'll go and pull up another parametric EQ too, okay? This time we need to create proper cuts where we're not going to need audio information. So I like having a lot of high information, so I'm going to push my band all the way to, I'm going to make sure that I would go up here, right click, go to 20K or 20 and 18K pass. I'm going to order this as a steep 8, and I'm going to push the frequency all the way up to 20,000, okay? Now, it should be pushing off anything a little bit past that, rolling off around 21 or something. And I have my low end right here. I'm going to order steep 8, yep. And then we're going to pull that all the way down to 20 hertz. So we don't have anything coming in below there. Anything like below 5 hertz is just going to be a low rumble. It's going to be like chug, chug, chug. It's going to sound stupid. You don't need it. All right, so now this is just making sure we have important information in. Now, what I'm going to do is, at this point, I'll listen to my song. Let's try and balance it out a little more. All right. So now that we've hunted down the information that needs to be there and doesn't need to be there, let's look at the whole spectrum. It looks like there's areas we could pull back, and some areas we could push up a little bit. When we use what we're about to use, like compression, people are under the impression that it makes the track louder. It doesn't. What we're doing is we're turning everything down to then turn it back up. That's what compression is, to get the whole level up. But first we have to turn things down. So let's put on something that'll be easy that we can all use from anywhere. Let's use Maximus, but let's move this down 1. Move down. All right. So let's look at Maximus and span. I'm going to make span small. If you have 2 monitors, this is much easier. But let's pull this down here. And let's open up Maximus. All right. And let's put this on average again. Or on master. Yeah. With master, I can see what the whole waveform looks like. And let's go to Maximus and let's right click it and just go to clear master, okay? You're gonna see that like it kind of does this with the levels. It just kind of like pushes them but then smooths them out. Now let me move this out of the way for you guys. Now that I can see what's going on with this waveform and what the general curve looks like, I can decide, well, is this track too heavy on bass in the mid area up towards the top? You should be using your ears to visually identify this. Let's watch how I can mess with an EQ to mess with this waveform and see what actually sounds like the proper choices for this track. noticing I have a nice little more equal wave. The thing is, you don't want to make big adjustments on an EQ because you're affecting every single instrument in the track when you do this. That's why mixing beforehand is important. But this is okay because I want everyone to be able to hear all areas of this, but I know I want to leave the bass in my track a little bit thick so that the other people can hear it. I want to pull out a little bit out of 500, a little more, but I don't, let's see. All right, there we go. I like that. I like that right there. And we have Maximus doing a clear thing here. Let's move this down again so it's our final one. This pretty much, we're going to act this as a smoothing limiter. So it's not going to let our song go above 0 decibels, but it's also going to pump up levels that we need to without us having to go too far into, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. This is ready. Remember, to just prep your song to get out there. You've already done a lot of the work. So what we are going to do, though, is work with some imaging. Let's use this version of Maximus as the one a new one that we just opened. Let's use this one as a imager. So check this out. I know this track has a lot of sub bass. I can hear it. So I'm going to go to low, solo, I'm going to go to bands, and I'm going to pull this to about 90. And I am going to merge it. Good. Let's check out our mid and let's check out actually our highs. Let's see where a lot of the brightness is. So this is where a lot of the atmosphere is. I can hear it. The piano is more here. So with the atmosphere, maybe I want to widen it a little bit. But sometimes when you widen an image, sometimes it gets louder. So we might have to pull back the post a little bit. Let's listen and look here while we're doing this. Alright, now I like how that's sounding because I can hear the atmosphere of the synths and the reverb, and those hi-hats are still coming in, and the snare's still popping. Now let's click on our middle one. I wouldn't do too much with the middle here, it sounds nice. So we've monoed our middle, our lows. We kept our middles and the upper end where I think there can be, where we can emphasize the strong part of it. I've done that with the atmosphere. And we haven't done any compression on here, right? Good, no compression. The low cut, set your low cut again to 20. That's perfect. That means not going to let anything past that. Okay. Turn solo off. And now let's listen. I think I want to gain the track a little bit. So, because I want it to be pumping up around here. I want it to be pumping around 0. And I have my smoother limiter here on the Clearmaster. So let's take Fruity Limiter and push the gain up ever so slightly. But first, you need to go to the loudest part of your track again and find out where it is. And you need to just let that play over and over so you know what the loudest part's going to be like. You don't want to push your compression too much. There we go. We made a little bit of a saturation push down right here, just to like push back that one peaking part a little bit. And now let me turn on Maximus and see what we're pushing up here. Yeah, that's looking cool. Now let's go back and listen. That's looking good. To be honest, let me pause it actually. All right, so when I send my song out, usually I like to have the higher end. If there's no vocals on the track yet, I like to have the higher end a little bit lower than this end right here, because usually a singer's vocal range is gonna be between here. If I'm sending this to a vocalist right now, I'll probably actually pull back the 800 even a little more. So I would just add one final parametric EQ, make a wide band, and pull it back around here. Now that looks ready for a vocalist, but if I'm going to send it out just as it is, maybe without that EQ. Let's see if there's anything else we can do to kind of make the track sound a little more polished before we push it out. We've already soloed all the sub bass, or monoed it. We've listened through our headphones. We've looked for sour spots. Well, no, that's for mixing. We have our Maximus clear master out. This thing's a godsend. There's different kinds too. I don't really need any saturation anywhere. You can, though, if you want to, just play the song and click on these different presets that might sound better for you if you like them. Let's listen to the differences between these. I would probably send this out like it is now, but we're not done yet. Now, this is where you really have to use a critical ear, because I've decided that maybe having a max loudness setting on my Maximus before my Clear It Master could be beneficial to this track, since it's already on the lower end. I remember making that, and we've taken out a lot of things we don't need, which takes out a little bit more volume of it. I want my track to be pushing 0, but not pumping, not riding 0, because then it's just going to look over-compressed. Unless you're trying to sell something to a corporate business, which is going to just play it on the phone, that's fine. You don't need to hear, you just need to hear background music. But if I'm trying to sell this to someone, I need to now use my critical ear to decide if this is making my track better or if it's just making it louder. So I'm going to go in here and listen to each what's the most important part of the song, of the beat, that really brings it to life. Is it the sub bass? Is it the kick? Is it the atmosphere? I need to listen as I take this on and off to decide if it's improving it or not, if things are sounding over compressed or not. Yeah, I think I am liking that. So let me let's take this and let's highlight from here. Unless you're trying to make an infinite loop, then you'll do it from this. If I wanted to make an infinite loop, I could just highlight it from here to here. But I'm going to highlight from where I have the fade in. Go all the way over to where I fade out. Right here. Alright. Now, we're going to render this one more time. It's already in a 24-bit, so let's export it like that. File. Oh, and if you really want to pre and post, remember, you could always do this to compare. I should have told you this is how you A and B compare. Ready? If you click this, it turns off all your insert effects. And then on. Alright, let's make sure those are all on. File, export as wave. Export it to wherever you want to have it. Under your renders, I'm just going to export it to my desktop again. 24-bit, 512, high quality, enable insert, master, don't split. Bada boom, bada bing. And then, of course, you could also put tempo information, 132, C major or whatever. That way, if someone buys it, you know, maybe they need to know that. Though I'm sure you could put that information on your description. So here you go, start. Oh, and put your vocal tag if you want to put it in too. That way people know you made it. Now, what I want to do is do a quick before and after. Let's take our, well, not a quick before and after, but more of just comparison of the waveform, all right? So let's take the postmaster and drag it in here. And then pull it down here. And let's take a look at it. Yeah, that's looking like a nice track. That's looking like something that's ready to go out. I would send that out. Let's listen to it with all the mastering things off. Make it soloed. Oh, soloed by right-clicking it. And make sure you get rid of that. that's looking cool. So this is what I would do to your beat if you only had the FL Studios plugins before you put it on your YouTube, before you put it on your BeatStars, Pond 5, whatever, before you just send it out to show off, because this is going to sound a lot nicer over a lot of different devices now, through cheap speakers, good speakers, your phone, earbuds, things like that. People are going to get more of the picture, and you emphasized a little of what makes it strong while cleaning up a little bit of things that need to be tightened, like the low end. Awesome. So that's that. I guess here's a good time for any first service announcement. If you guys are interested, I am starting a new service where you can have me prepare your beat to go out. If you don't have the time to do this, or you don't want to do this yet, I am opening up a service on Fiverr where I will be mastering your beat. I'm going to start a service on Fiverr where I will take your beat and I will prepare it for you, no matter how it is, to be ready to go out and distribute. I'll use a lot of different softwares. I have things like, well, I'll tell you primarily, I'm going to be using Ozone 8 Advanced. Ozone 8 Advanced is a pretty dang nice software. I'll just show you what the tools I would use to... Actually, I'm not even going to show you. I'm just going to explain it and, like, show cool clips of what I'm doing. So I'll go do a quick voice acting thing in a second and get that ready. Hey, is your beat ready to be distributed amongst your social media outlets and online stores? Not sure? Well, let me take a critical ear to your track to make sure the best of it's brought out before you call it finished. I've been working with audio for over 10 years, and I've trained my ear to sense sounds beyond and above the average threshold of the human hearing. I'll take the tools at my disposal that I use to monitor my own tracks, and I will give your sound the same treatment, cleanup, and critical spice that I would for each of my own works. With the latest music analysis tools, advanced artificial intelligence, and a comprehensive knowledge and understanding, I'll help you reach that industry standard sound you desire for your track. Alright guys, well that's it for today. I hope you found this video informative. Sorry if it was a little scatterbrained, but sometimes when you're doing this stuff you have to think outside the box or from different approaches into it. So really hope this turns up your game as you guys are putting things out. If you learned something, cool. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Any comments or any ideas for video, just let me know. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit that bell if you want to see more. And if you don't like the video, press Control W. That is the new shortcut for dislike. So just press that. Other than that, thanks guys. Have a great day. I'm going to go edit this video. Make sure you check out that new service. And check out the beats and the links in the shops below. We got more stuff coming, alright? You guys are killing it on the subscribe button and the like button. Thanks so much. Thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. I love you guys. And I want to say, I'll see you guys. Well, I love you guys. But that's it. I'm heading out. Take it easy, guys. Peace.